What's going on? It's Justeeni here. Today I've got a special treat for you guys. It's some more Tiny Lakes gameplay. I've been having a lot of fun with this. And this is against a Hoodrick Menace. This was actually a quite solid player. It's rare that I find someone good in randoms, but I recognize this guy's username. He knows how to play the game and play it well. I'm using Vengir because they're actually good on Tiny Lakes, because the map is really small and swords tend to be good in crowded conditions. So starting with the funny sword tech is actually nice, But yeah, so I'm gonna be going over it because this game was cool. Already though, before we even start, something notable. 615. That's not the starting score of Hoodrick. So how did I know that the opponent was Hoodrick? Well, I didn't know it with certainty. I was kind of making an assumption that they probably are Hoodrick because it's really good on this map type. But Hoodrick doesn't start with 615 points, they start with 620, which means they started with a lighthouse spawn. And if you guys don't know how Tiny Lakes works, then now you'll know this really cool trick. So there's fixed spawns. These are the only possible spawn points. You can kind of see how they're all it makes this perfect little square. All 4 tiles away. So you have this very cool square, and these are the only valid spawn points. Notice how only one of these is a lighthouse spawn. So with all that knowledge, I know exactly where the opponent spawned. They spawned in the north, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. So things happen. I also score counted, and I believe they got Explorer turn 0, which is a pretty common trick for Hoodrick, taking advantage of the vision so your archers can use it. And again, they could upgrade quickly. So I get an Explorer myself. Unfortunately, it runs into the mountain. Lighthouse actually isn't the end of the world because Mine and Forge does give me level 3 cap, so it's not actually that bad, but it could be better. I'm able to take the central city though because Hoodrick is actually cut off from it. But now climbing. And I see that they have a vet sword, so that's a little dangerous for me. I do get the upgrade, so my early military advantage is kind of diminished. I'm not really going to be able to take advantage of a whole lot because they have a sword. Luckily though, I can defend with my sword, so it's still a little concerning. They have archers, But I'm going to step on this village. Again, I wouldn't be able to get away with this normally if they have a vet sword, but I can in this case. And then I get the Explorer. I grab this lighthouse over here, which is a little unfortunate. I would have rather gotten this one. However, I actually still have a way to get this lighthouse. And it's from this village here. Now, right now, if I were to get this Explorer, it would go this way. So I have to clear all this fog out in order to funnel it this way, which is what I want. So, yeah. That's already my game plan there. They have a catapult already, which is very scary. So I go hunting. The reason why is because I want archery myself, or forestry potentially, but mostly for archery. I leave the city open and just let them have it because I can't do anything about that. So yeah, moving units back, revealing the fog, and their ranged units are very scary, and I don't like them. Park of Fortune, they already have a giant. Bad news for me, but there is one thing going for me in this position. I have an extra city. They only have 3 and I have 4. So I have to hold on to the city advantage while they have very strong, oppressive ranged units here and a really good economy advantage. Giant already. I get a resource rune though, which is very nice, and a vet sword, which is also very nice. I have to chip down this vet sword, chip down their archer. Now getting the Explorer guarantees I've got in 100% of cases. Boom. We're good to go. Now archery. I have got there for my giant, not too far behind there. I have God's very nice, gives me a lot of extra score. Park of Fortune down. And I can get a sword. Forge here. Again, despite Vengir having bad terrain, Smithery is still quite useful starting tech for them to help with upgrades and stuff. And yeah, I just have to hold on here. I have archers, but they have catapults, and they have naval dominance with the giant. Very interesting choice here. And they land the giant to keep their city in the middle safe. This city here will be a huge target later in the game. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, I'm trying to get archers built up. And my game plan, instead of fighting them on the water, this is kind of not ideal And this is kind of another reason why I went for archers. Also note how I could have killed with the sword and gotten it to 2 out of 3, but it would not be smart because it would be next to the giant if I did that. So that's why I hit in a weird looking way. But now I go for roads, and this is my plan. This catapult's very scary, but if I have roads, I can reach that catapult quite easily, and these ranged units in general start to look like ripe targets. I also forget about the sword, and it heals. That's cool, I guess. But yeah, this bomber, though, this is very scary, but I at least can get a hit. And I get a rider back here, because I can. Sword goes in. I want their giant to move back, actually, in this case. Like, yeah, sword's next to the giant, that's bad, but I want the giant to move away to expose their bomber. Instead, they move forward, covering the square so my archer cannot move. Very smart play. Bomber gets a hit. Catapult there. They have Gate of Power. I am very close to Gate of Power. Like, as in, I'm literally I'm gonna be 1 kill away after I do that. But I don't need it right away. I can't actually do anything with it. But now, here again, lots of firing away. And another bomber, but the opponent kind of misplays here. They gave me a bit of an opportunity that they didn't need to. I get the siege. Do a lot of poking around, and I double road. Siege here. They have to do something about that, but I'm also going to send this archer here to snipe the catapult. They have to unsiege both of these now. They have the giant, but they don't want to move this back because then it would allow me to walk in and hit these bombers again. So they have to deal with both of these and keep the giant here, which is really tough for them. And I have this archer threatening to hit future bombers or catapults, and the rider also threatening to do some shenanigans. Suddenly a lot of pressure here. They get the giant push, solving the problem seemingly. Except the sword's actually still alive, only 8 HP, except it actually isn't. It's at 20 HP now, right next to the catapult and bomber, so they can't even use those to hit unless it's a finishing blow. I decide to just take out that raft there. Go for another siege. And I'm able to build up units, and it looks like I'm consolidating. I do have Gate of Power at this point. I should have used it on this city, actually. You'll kind of see why. I thought I was going to place Gate of Power in my capital, so that's why I was delaying it a lot. I just take out that bomber. Not the catapult, actually. I think the bomber is scarier here, so that's why I deal with that. And yeah, chipping away the giant, continuing the siege. I go with the bridge play. I upgrade. That's one reason why I went with the bridge. And again, I forget to place Gate of Power. I was thinking about doing this here and pushing with the port, but I realized, wait, I can just place 3 ports. Like, that's expensive, 21 stars, but it gets me an extra giant, which is worth it. But it ultimately doesn't really matter too much because, yeah, I'm able to take care of these ranged units using the almighty power of Vengir. This was a very cool game. I get the siege here. Now finally using my Gate of Power. Still no giant yet, but it will be there soon. And they decide to place a giant in the port because they don't want to use the giant on siege because then their bomber would die. But unfortunately now they can't unsiege at all. I will be keeping the city, and they will definitely be very losing from that point. So they resign. Very fun game though. I enjoyed this a lot. It was very close, seeing the one city advantage from Vengir versus that superior economy. But oh my goodness, Vengir content. I know. Like they're actually good on tiny lakes. I don't know if they're the best tribe. Let me know if you guys want to see a tiny lakes tier list. I'd be excited to do that after I kind of figure out the meta. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.